Hey there. If you're watching this video, I bet you have one of three dogs. Either you have a puppy who's chewing on everything they shouldn't, getting into things they shouldn't, and you're like, I know I'm not supposed to tell my dog no, but how do I tell them no without telling them no? Or you have an older dog who's still doing puppy things, or you're a proactive pet parent who doesn't have a puppy yet, but you're anticipating. So for whatever reason you're here, this video does apply to you, and thank you for clicking on. I'm going to blow your mind a little bit today about the controversy behind the word no. Can you say the word no? How do you say no? Why? Before we begin, I need to introduce you to my little friend, Quincy the Chihuahua. She'll probably be in my lap this whole time. So, to get to the main question is, can we say no? I mean, of course you can say no, but the reason why I don't prefer using the word or relying on the word is because it's not really clear what yes is. So you're going to be telling your dog, no, don't chew on those shoes. No, don't chew on that baseboard. No, don't do this. No, don't do that. And right now you're shaping the foundation for the relationship with your dog and how they view you. And the relationship being based on no, punishment, frustration is not the relationship I'm sure you're looking to have. And at some point, I'm sure you plan on bringing your puppy into the world, into new environments. And do you think your puppy's gonna want to engage with you when the first couple of weeks, all they heard was, no, don't do this, don't do that? So I know that's not what you're intending to have for your relationship. So I will give other tips throughout this video on what to do instead. So something we really need to keep in mind is your dog has absolutely no idea or preference to your rules. Why not pee on the carpet? So when you're bringing your puppy into your home, we want to consider it can be really frustrating when we don't know what to do, especially when we're just trying to get our needs met. And if we can look at our puppy's behavior through the lens of them always trying to get a need met, we can start to offer different solutions for them, and maybe even look at their behavior as something less frustrating and more so communication for us of, okay, what are they needing right now? So this is where I bring you to the very first golden rule, and that is WTF. Yep, it's exactly what you think that is. What's the function? What's the function of your puppy's behavior? They don't do things for no reason. So a couple of things, or a couple of reasons why they might be doing something is maybe they are bored, or they're looking for an additional outlet. So they're chewing on things, they're running around the house, they're doing things for attention. Maybe they're overtired. You're like, I know this puppy just needs a nap, but he's not chilling out. Well, he's a baby. He doesn't know how to self-regulate. That may be the case. It could actually be a completely fine option for you to put your puppy into a safe place, such as a crate or an X-pen for a nap. Another reason for your puppy's mischievous behavior could be discomfort. Maybe they're teething and they're feeling a little bit of pain and discomfort, or maybe they need to pee or poo and they're getting all angsty and crazy and then there's an accident. So whatever the behavior is, whether it's jumping up on things they shouldn't be jumping up on, barking, biting, there's always a reason. So now that you've considered WTF, you can now say no. New option. What's a new option for the current behavior my puppy is demonstrating to help them get their needs met in a better, more appropriate way? Your puppy was chewing on a shoe. How about you give them something else that you'd rather them chew on instead? If you have a couple of moments, play tug of war, fetch with them. And if you don't have the time, then maybe you give them a stuffed frozen Kong you kept stored in your freezer for these emergency times. If your puppy is jumping up, how about you teach them to sit and reward them for greeting people instead of jumping? It's an endless list on things that you can be teaching your puppy instead of telling them what not to do. Just always think, well, what's incompatible to the current behavior I'm not desiring? Reinforce that instead. But Stephanie, how do I tell my puppy that I don't want them chewing on my shoes and my baseboard? Well, the thing is, they're doing it because they can. Your puppy is incredibly curious, and they're going to be exploring all of their options because, again, they haven't made the distinction of right and wrong. Here's the thing. The problem is not your puppy's curiosity. Their curiosity is actually a really, really good thing that I wouldn't want you to diminish. The problem is that we allowed our puppies to explore their curiosity on things we weren't okay with them exploring in the first place and potentially destroying, and then we got upset with them when they explored it in the way that a puppy naturally would. So essentially, we unintentionally set our puppy up to fail. See, puppies are pretty predictable, which can make this really, really easy. Your puppy is pretty much going to be exploring the entire world with their mouth at this point. So if there's something we don't want them to be getting into and we see your puppy going up to your houseplant, we can anticipate what they're likely going to do. They're probably going to put it in their mouth. So what do we do about this? So I'm going to introduce you to the most important rule of having a puppy. Actually, there's 100 most important rules, but in this video, this is the most important rule. And this is, all the time, your puppy needs to have a leash on them, except for when they're in the crate. Your puppy doesn't just have the leash on them. That doesn't resolve anything. You need to be holding on to that leash, or if you're not holding on to that leash, you're not multitasking, you're not on your phone distracted, you're not cooking, you're not going to the bathroom. You're saying, I'm taking 5 minutes at least, and I'm giving my undivided attention to my dog while they're roaming around with that leash dragging. And as soon as you see them investigating something, you can guess what they're gonna do. They're probably gonna bite on it. So this is your cue. You have the leash, you have other toys around you. The golden rule that you're gonna use with the leash is redirect and reinforce. You see your puppy going up to your shoe, call your puppy, grab the leash, reel them in towards you, squeak the toy, and show them what you want them to do instead. So I touched on something earlier that I really need to put extra emphasis, and this is the fact that your puppy cannot have any unsupervised free time out in your home. If you've provided your puppy with proper outlets, walks, plays, enrichment games, training, etc., then the rest of the time they don't need to be doing anything because you met their needs, you burnt out that energy, and now they could probably relax, maybe chewing on something. So that's not a reason to give them freedom, because your puppy may not know how to self-regulate. They may just be so curious and excited about the environment around them that they're just going to keep going. When really, again, if you've met that need, they could just relax now. But you need to help them do that. We're trying to make your puppy's worldview small. And what I mean by that is we don't want to give them the opportunity to learn and rehearse undesired behaviors. And we especially don't want them to learn that these behaviors are only contingent on your presence and your reprimand. So it's the 2 seconds that you turned your back that your puppy got into something, or the 2 seconds that you left the room that your puppy learned, cool, this is the time that I can jump on the table and get into all of the goodies. So it's really important that you meet all of your puppy's needs first. And when you're no longer supervising your puppy, because that's realistically not something you could be doing 24 hours a day, then you have a form of management for them. Whether that's the crate, whether you have the leash and it's just tied to your hip and you give them something to chew on in the meantime. You're just trying to make it very clear that your puppy has a few options. They're either playing and getting their exercise with you in constructive outlets, or they're relaxing by you or chewing on something to keep them occupied. And that is it. Anything outside of that and your puppy is going to get into trouble, I promise you. So as you can see, I see saying no as a reactive measure because the behavior already got to happen and then we're giving a consequence to it. And it's not that that's the end of the world, it's just not that it's the most effective option, and it can come with negative repercussions. Oftentimes when your dog or puppy already got the chance to rehearse an undesired behavior, they've already become either intrinsically reinforced by the behavior itself, or they've been reinforced by something in the environment that was out of our control for those 2 seconds that we weren't just managing the puppy instead. So this is why prevention is always the most important aspect of puppyhood. Simply enough, what your puppy doesn't get to develop a reinforcement history of doesn't become something they seek out in the future. So it's a behavior that won't continue to exist once they get over this curious, playful puppy phase. So in the meantime, you just show them what we want them to be interacting with and how we want them to be interacting with it, and make the other things that we don't want them interacting with, like, non-existent and not optional anyway. So to summarize, always try to anticipate your puppy's needs. Always try to ask, what is my dog's behavior trying to tell me about something that they're needing? And what is a better option you can provide for them instead? And lastly, give your puppy infinite love, but about zero freedom. If you watch this video and still feel like you need to tell your puppy no, or believe that they know better, then I invite you to send me a DM or an email, and I would love to have a conversation about this with you. If you found this video helpful, then go ahead and share it so other puppy owners can also find some peace. Also, go ahead and like and subscribe if you'd like me to keep making more content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and happy training!